All right, everybody, this is Patty with FC Explained, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to score more consistently in FC26. The two main components I have today are noticing certain patterns within your formation, and more specifically within any formation, and a couple of principles that you guys can use to pretty much guarantee that you're going to get consistently through on goal. So I have some clips, I'm going to pull them up, and we're going to get straight into it. All right, so with this first clip, I'm just going to play it out. And then after it plays, I'll go back and analyze and pretty much tell you guys what I'm thinking and how I'm going to plan on progressing this attack, right? Okay, so the way I'm going to break this clip specifically up is into three stages. The first stage happens as soon as I win the ball back, right? So I've just won the ball off my opponent's Mbappe, and I'm in my own box, right? So obviously, a lot of people that I've coached, they panic, right? They think, oh my God, it's in my box. I have to get it out. I have to either clear it, do whatever, right? That's not necessarily the case. The biggest habit that you guys should try to build when you win the ball in your own half is just slowly, and I mean slowly, left stick backwards, right? Because guaranteed, right? This is his furthest line. Guaranteed, there is no one over here. So you can dribble here, and this will buy time for your players, right? So him, and him, right? Your back line to get back into position, your midfielders to reset, right? And pretty much just to reorganize your team. You dribble this way to buy time for your team to reorganize, right? So after we win the ball back, it goes into the second stage. How can we progress this ball forward? Well, looking at the mini map, I know it's kind of hard to tell. I apologize for the little slide buffer here, but most of his team is in this portion of the field, right? Or at the very least, that's where the space is being blocked off. So I know if I go down here, I have more of a chance of having a successful build-up. More specifically, I'm on my left, switch the field. The minute I get the ball, I'll go backwards, switch the field. That is the immediate first habit I want you guys to build. When you win the ball back, before even building the attack, go backwards and switch the field so you get into more space, which will inherently spread your opponent's defense. So right here, right? If we're going this way, I get the ball to my right mid because he has all of this space to work with, right? All of this space here so I can actually properly build up. Then, as soon as you get it out to the wing, immediately, if there's space in the midfield, we want to try to just hit the striker or the cam. More importantly, we want to use an L1 X pass, right? Which for you guys don't know, that's using the left bumper as you press X, right? So we need to do that because we want our winger to make a run, right? I'm assuming if you guys have heard of the first time through balls, this is kind of where we're going here. Now, in this clip specifically, I'm not using the first time through balls. I'm just getting Sorloff to run into this space, right? Because I need someone to occupy this space. Look at that. Open space. And then right here, right? Same thing. I get into this position, and pretty much at this point, it's game over. I realistically just have to do a fake, and as long as he bites, it's good. At this point now, the opponent has to just guess which way I'm gonna go. There's no IQ level in terms of either like mechanic that's gonna help him defend here, besides just guessing which side I'm gonna go, or if I'm gonna fake a side and go another side, right? Which is exactly what happens. I fake going up for the finesse, cut back in, easy low driven. So that's the first clip, right? Three phases. Go backwards and switch the field, find the wing, right, which you can inherently do in the first phase. More importantly, your wide mid. Send your wide mid on a run using an L1 X pass to the cam and find the striker as soon as possible. And then send that winger once you see that he's starting to gain his speed, right? You guys might be wondering why everyone has lengthy wingers. This is why. Because as you're building up the ball after you've triggered the winger, they're at max speed, and by the time you play the through ball, absolutely no one is catching them unless they're tracking the run extremely early. So I'm going to go to the next clip now, and I'll see you guys there. All right. So this is the second goal that I scored. Once again, I'm just going to let this play out. You guys can see exactly what I'm doing. And then after I score, I'll show you guys what I'm thinking and pretty much what I'm trying to do with each move, right? Okay. So, I think first thing we can admit this is a little bit of a lucky finish, but using precision, that's why you should use precision. You could score goals like this. Um, so starting from the beginning, right? Again, first principle, try to get the ball to your striker as soon as possible. The reason you want to get the ball to your striker as soon as possible is because it forces the opponent to use their center backs, or at the very least, switch to a player that's deeper in the field, right? Which can lead you to more of a chance of there being some sort of way that the opponent will expose themselves. Whether they drag the center back out, they move their CDM out of position, and you have space to go onto their center backs now, right? So we just want him to use someone in this back line as soon as possible. So right here, right? Just working the angle. I'm going, like you guys have heard me talk about reset ball. Got the ball to the wing. Now we're working it back to the middle and doing it quickly as we can. He has a lot more people in the box, so I'm just being super patient right now. I'm not trying to force anything, right? Same thing with Rashford, right? I see nothing, right? He has 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't go this way. Take this space, right? I'm taking the space that he's giving me. Whenever you guys are attacking, take what your opponent gives you, because eventually they're going to give you something that's too dangerous for them. So right here, right? See? Play it out. Nothing, right? Trigger Leao, play it through, take one touch to beat him, and we get in his box, right? He's not using team press. He's not using offside traps. He's just letting me work my way into his box. He's not applying any pressure in terms of second man press. Like I said, team press, offside traps. He's making it really easy for me to just pass around and just find a direct pass into his box, which is obviously not what you want to do. But I'd say the key principle, if I had to summarize one thing you should do from this clip, is be patient. You don't need to score right away. Take what your opponent gives you. So that was this goal, and then we're going to go into the third goal, and I will see you guys there. All right. So this is the third goal. Like I said, I'm just going to let it play out. Same game. Believe it or not, I am actually pretty nice. It's 4-1. I'm a Div 1. I'm just kidding. But, so that's that fourth goal. Let me just tell you guys what I'm thinking. So when I get the ball in this position, right, I'm triggering my winger, and the first thing I'm noticing is this triangle, right? Because like I said, again, I sound like a broken record, but it's extremely important. You want to find him as soon as possible so we can switch. The other big philosophy, or I guess not philosophy, fundamental that I want you guys to use, and this will apply to any formation. That's the best part about this fundamental, is the triangles, okay? I do not, when I play this game, I trigger runs looking for that first time through ball, but I'm also using it to help me create a triangle around the next progressive player, right? Because there's triangles everywhere on the field right now. You have this one, you have the one I just drew, you have this one, you have this one, right? Looks kind of crazy when I draw them all at the same time, right? You can see it. You have triangles here, you have triangles here, you have triangles here, right? These triangles are going to be the reason you're going to be able to pass around your opponent, right? So immediately I'm going to try to hit this winger and then play this pass. At least that's what I would be thinking right now. And I'm assuming that's what I'm thinking in this clip, right? Exactly. Same thing. Now, when I'm doing this, right, I know just because I have Neymar on Shadow Striker, he's going to make runs in behind, right? He's going to be super aggressive when the ball gets to the striker. And they have a clear passing lane. So I know when I get this ball to Rashford also, he's super tight on to the center back. So it's not smart to hold the ball with him too much, especially if this opponent is good and switches early to the center back, right? So I get the ball here, immediately play it to Neymar, because now I'm going to have this space to run into with him, which will force him to switch to one of these two. So look, see, running with Neymar, cut back. He uses his cam to come back. So now he has very structured defense, right? He has his full midfield line is back. His back line is in perfect shape. His CDMs are together, right? And even his cam's attacking. So I know now I need to be way more patient. I cannot just force through balls, especially when these guys made their runs and they have to still come back. So I need to buy time for these guys to get back so we can orchestrate another attack. So the main thing, right, when we're being patient, when you have your opponent and they are super structured like this, right? I mentioned this before. What do? We go to the wing because then that will naturally drag one player out, another player out, and that gives us a gap, right? So let's see if that's what I do. Okay, wait for that. Okay, so I didn't do it here. That's another option I could have done, was just call him short. Um, like I said, just goes to show there's more than one option. I don't remember these clips too much, but right here, I guess you could say that since Sorloth came back, right? As soon as I see that, again, you could also say that it's like I'm trying to break the line, right? I have somewhere to work with. Another principle that I like to use a lot is when I have my inside forward or whatever side I'm on, I like to get the ball really quickly. So I wait for this guy to come closer, like around here-ish. And then by the time I get it to him, I'll play first time into here, and then I'll just dribble around. Because it's really hard for an opponent to anticipate that you're just going to immediately pass as soon as you break a line, especially up or down. It's right here, right? See? Look, play it quickly, and then now it's just straight left stick dribbling, and I get the goal. So that's the other goal. I would say the principle for this one is use the wing, but also recognize the triangles. I think the triangles is probably the biggest thing I'd say from this. Triangles, triangles, triangles. So that's this clip, and then we'll get into the last one. And yeah, that'll be it. I'll summarize it at the end. Hopefully, it'll be pretty easy for you guys to understand. And yeah, that's pretty much it. See you guys in the next clip. All right. So this is the last clip. Same thing. I'm just going to play it through, and then we'll walk through it after. All right. So hopefully, if you guys have been paying attention, you're going to start noticing a pattern with the way I play, right? I get the ball back here. It's off kickoff. I just got scored on, even though it's 5-2. And first principle, right? Look, you guys can see it again. One thing that I'm noticing off rip, because he's pressing me really hard with his right winger. Triangle, right? So I know the minute I get it here, I can play. Or I can even use this kind of a triangle, right? Or just a way to progress the field. So let's see which way I actually do this. Yep, so I go that way, which is fine. Again, same thing. I do an L1X pass here. Explained it before. Sorry about the thing. It switched to the Xbox emulator. I'm not sure why. But look, I brought it out wide, right? And look at this. Look at how compact he is here. Okay? He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? So he has these 6 players. And look at this. I use the L1X pass to break the first line, right? Because I see this space that he created by bringing out his right back. And look, play it over the top because good players will know about the first time through balls, so they will cut off the pass to the striker. However, it inherently, right, while they're cutting the pass off to the striker to save yourself from this triangle, right? Because I didn't have to play over the top. I could have played to Neymar and then to Leao, right? The thing is, he was blocking that pass with, I'm not sure who that is, but his right back, right? Because look, the pass to to my Neymar is not open right now, right? He has this guy marking it and this guy marking it. It's not a clear pass. This L1 triangle pass, though, is very obvious, or LBY. So I have this space to run into. The whole point is just getting myself into this space, right? Same thing, right? I'm wide now. Look at how much space, right? I have this space. I know I need to find some way in there or use reset ball and work my way up this way. So sometimes, too, and I think this is where you guys are going to see me use player lock for the first time, I don't have an option. I don't want to risk it because he's sliding up with his Vieira and Rashford's pressed pretty hard, so I can't find him right away. So I player lock to get Foden out, and now I have more space to work with, and I can press. Same thing, right? Find the winger, and then immediately pass the striker, and then some left stick dribbling gets us the goal, right? So I would say for today's video, the principles that I would go off are the most important one is definitely the triangles. Really recognize the triangles in your team's formation. That's probably the biggest thing. It's going to help you do two things: keep the ball and progress the ball. Those are the two things you need to be able to do if you want to attack consistently in this game. The second principle, find the striker. Hit your striker as soon as possible so your opponent has to use their back line. This will allow you to trigger players from in behind and give yourself more options going forward because your opponent is now at risk of making a defensive mistake, right? Or at a higher chance of making one, right? They might be a good defender, but there's still a higher probability of them making a mistake when they're controlling their center back versus when they're controlling their CDM or their cam. The last principle I would say is just be patient. You don't need to score right away. You don't need to play the first passing option that opens up for you, right? You want to have a system of how you build up. So then that way, if someone blocks a pass, you can just use the other one, right? Watch your opponent, watch who he switches to, watch what passing lanes he covers, and then just play the obvious pass. If you just play the obvious pass, it's going to be really easy for you to keep the ball, and then that inherently score more goals because you score more if you hold the ball more. It's in this game. Like, it's not as difficult as a lot of people make it out to seem, right? And I know you guys might see me use skill moves or all of these things. You don't have to, right? If you guys would like me to, I can give you guys a skill move video. There's only about, I use literally probably, I would say 4 skill moves, right? But that's pretty much it for today's video. If you guys are interested in getting some more detailed one-on-one coaching, you guys can book a free 15-minute call where I basically will just introduce myself. We can get to know you as a player, and we can decide that, cut this out, Patty. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So like I said, hopefully this video was pretty helpful for you guys. If you guys are interested, I have a Discord. You guys can join. You guys can also book a free 15-minute call, right? You guys can help me help the business. Oh, fuck off. Cut this out too. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully this video was pretty helpful. I do have a free Discord down below if you guys are interested. I'm trying to build a community of players that just want to improve at FC. I also have a link in there where you can book a free call. Pretty much just, it's 15 minutes. You can just tell me what you're struggling with, and we can decide if I'm able to help you or not. And if you are, right now, you guys can get your first 60-minute session for free, where I'll pretty much just either review live gameplay of you or you send clips in, and we'll get in a Discord call, and I'll basically just coach you. I'll tell you what to do, what mistakes you're making, right? And if you don't feel like getting in a call and you're not comfortable with it, then I can just send you videos responding to your clips. I'll just send you a recording of me reviewing your clip and telling you what mistakes you're making. Pretty much like what I'm doing here with these clips, I can do it with yours for absolutely free. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I'm Patty with FC Explained, and thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.